Hey there! Good to see you! Welcome back to another speed paint video. You guys read the title, so let's jump right in. I'll be starting off today with Dom, my sweet boy, my favorite jock villager. Dom was one of the first two villagers I started my game with, and he's the only one I haven't let move away because I love him so much. I can't explain what I love about this sheep. I know all the villager personalities have the same dialogue and stuff, but I love this sheepy boy. He wants to run around and lift weights with me, and he's always so happy about it. He's a bro. He's a bro, and I love him. So for Human Dom, I knew I needed to give him lots of fluffy hair. He's a sheep. He's got all that fluffy wool, so big head of hair, and you can see a little bit he definitely has a fluffy chest. Instead of white, I decided to give him bright red hair in reference to the color on his horns. I also made some of the hair around his ears curl a little bit like his horns do. I knew that since Dom is a jock, I wanted him to have muscles. He's talking about his muscles constantly, but he's also a sheep, so I wanted to bring some of that softness into his physique. So he's got a big soft body all around, but under all that chunk is all muscle. He's got big arms to hug you with. I gave him some jogging shorts to run around in, showing off those sweet calves, and I tried to bring in more pinks from his horns because I love the colors in there. So I gave him some nice active footwear, very practical sneakers, and added a little triangle pattern to mimic his hooves. All in all, I'm very happy with him. He looks like a strong, soft friend, and that's exactly how I see him in-game. Yeah, there's Dom. Next up is sweet baby girl Aurora. To start with, I gave her a very round build since Aurora the penguin is pretty much made of circles, so round face, little pudgy body. She came out taller here than I thought I wanted, but you know what? I think she's working it. I kept her hair cropped pretty close to her head and brushed it forward around the face in sort of the same way her black head marking works. I gave her little hair clips to bring in some yellow, and just because she feels like a barrettes kind of girl to me. For her clothes, I knew that Aurora comes in a red sweater with a checker-like pattern. Houndstooth, is that what that is? But the thing is, I tried drawing that once, and it was hell. I hated how it came out and never wanted to subject myself to that again. So instead, I drew her in this humble sweater that I gifted to her that she still loves wearing. I think she looks adorable in the blue, and the two layers just look very cozy to me. She's a very cozy, wintertime, likes to read a book inside with a cup of tea kind of girl. I wanted to give her a skirt, but I struggled a lot with it. At first, I thought I liked the long skirt and played with a lot of patterns on it that sort of looked like her emperor penguin chick markings, but nothing was really working. Even what I thought I settled on, I didn't really like. Then, I woke up one morning with a big brain idea. What if I made the skirt short? So I pulled the skirt up, gave her black leggings, knitted leg warmers that matched her sweater, and redrew her boots so you can actually see that they're fluffy Uggs. And it worked really well! She looks like a cute, cozy weather gal. I still struggled a bit with the patterning I wanted to put on the skirt. Eventually, I gave it some cute lace around the bottom that I think just looks real nice and keeps it from being too plain. And if the lace happens to look like little penguin faces, that's a plus. Next in line is Julia. I know Julia is supposed to be a snooty villager, but she never really felt that way to me on my island. She always seemed like just a classy lady who enjoys her fancy fashion and is having fun on an island getaway, so that's how I wanted to portray her, as elegant but approachable. Starting with the wings, I turned her black primary feathers into the sheer sleeves of this weird dress, making them kind of poofy at the end to give it a wing shape. And I knew I absolutely had to give her a long, feathery-looking skirt to match a peacock's tail train. If I knew more about designing fashion, I probably could have come up with something better looking, but here we are. The hardest part to integrate was the zigzag top she wears. I love the colors, but they don't mesh great with the rest of her palette. I eventually just stuck it on as her bodice, and you can decide if it's part of the dress or an extra layer. I turned her stripy legs into high sandals and stockings, and gave her a little feather hairpin to bring in her tail pattern. She has heavy white eyeshadow to match her facial markings, and she dyes her hair white because she thinks it's cool, thinks it makes her stand out more. Julia is one I'll want to come back to eventually one day, but for now, here she is. And lastly for this video, we have Zucker, my boy, my bug's son! I definitely headcanon him as a kid, like young teen maybe. I don't know if the villagers have canon ages in-game, but I like to think that he and Aurora are about the same age and probably the youngest on my island. Zucker definitely needed shaved sides, what with the hair on his villager model, so I decided that immediately. He's very round in the face as well. However, he's skinnier and a bit more noodly than Aurora. He is an octopus after all. He's a lazy villager, so he talks about bugs a lot, but I like to see that as unique to him. It's his passion. He loves going out and collecting bugs. So I gave him a bunch of bug trappers and a net. He's a lazy villager, but he's an outdoorsy kid. He loves collecting bugs. He thinks they're his friends. I didn't copy his shirt exactly for his human design. I didn't feel like the sushi chef looking top fit with the version of him I had in mind, so I gave him a blue shirt that looks similar but is more ambiguous. I turned his tentacles into a red printed shirt that was tied around his waist, and made sure to draw it in a way that looked like separate parts dangling. I also gave him blue swim trunks with a tentacle pattern on them, just cute little octopus shorts. I brought his suckers into the human design by giving him lots of freckles and moles. I personally love skin imperfections and getting to use them in designs like this. Zucker's model does have freckles, but I didn't want to give my boy green freckles. So instead I turned the green into little round band-aids. This kid's running around the island barefoot because he doesn't care to put shoes on. Digging through the brush for bugs, he's gonna get a little scraped up. There you go, there's Zucker! And that does it for part 1 of my villagers as humans. You should see a part 2 coming out once I have those designs done. Keep in mind that these can take a while, and I know this one specifically took a while, but I promise it's coming. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope I see you here next time. Bye!